Hello everyone, welcome to the GC Consultancy Services. Okay, so today we will discuss on ESG, that means environmental, social and governance. Okay, so we are thrilled to extend a warm and hearty welcome to each and every one of you as we embark on the transformative journey into the world of environmental, social and governance. We believe that ESG is not just a buzzword, it is a guiding compass for a brighter and more sustainable future. Whether you are a seasoned sustainability professional, a curious student, an investor seeking ethical opportunities, or simply an individual eager to learn and contribute. Okay, so here we will discuss on environment, social and governance aspect. Okay, so let's begin the video. Before starting the class, I would like to give a brief information about our consultancy firm. Okay, so name of our consultancy firm is GC Consultancy Services. Okay, we are ISO 9001, 14001 and 45001 certified company, and we also registered under MSME in NIC under Environment Consultancy Services. Okay, our directors is Mr. Ashutosh Kumar Srivastava, who is an assessor of NABCB QCI, assessor IAS, IGBC AP, SOCHM, facilitator CII, lead auditor for 9001, ISO 14001, ISO 22000, ISO 45001 and ISO 50001 and ISO 17020. Okay, and also ILAC P15, and he is also GRI certified professional. Okay, and please go through our website www.gccsindia.com for more details. Okay, and if you guys have any queries, so you can mail on us gccs4114@gmail.com, and these are our social media platform, so go and subscribe our channel also there for further details. Okay, so now let's start our topic, that is ESG. Okay, so environmental, social and corporate governance. Okay, this is actually governance, but it is associated with corporate, that's why corporate governance. Okay, so environment, social and corporate governance, ESG. Okay, so environmental, first aspect of ESG. So what is environmental means in ESG? So in the context of environmental, social and governance criteria, environmental refers to one of the three key factors used to assess a company's or organization's sustainability and ethical practices. ESG is a set of criteria used by investors, stakeholders, and organizations to evaluate and measure the company's impact on society and the environment beyond just financial performance. Okay, specifically, the environmental components of ESG focuses on how a company's activity and operation affect the natural environment. It involves evaluating the company's efforts and performance in areas of such as, okay, so let's see the area. First, climate change and greenhouse gas emission. So this include assessing a company's carbon footprint, its emission of greenhouse gases, and its commitment to reducing its impact on climate change. Second is that energy efficiency and renewable energy. So evaluating how a company uses energy, whether it promotes energy efficiency, and if it incorporates renewable energy sources in its operations. And third is resource management. So, how the company manages and uses natural resources such as water, minerals, and other raw materials with a focus on sustainable practices. And now, fourth is waste management. So, assessing the company's waste generation, recycling efforts, and waste disposal method to determine its approach to minimize environmental impacts. Next, biodiversity and conservation. So, the company's policies and practices concerning the protection and preservation of biodiversity and natural ecosystem. And next is environmental regulation and compliance. So, ensuring that the company adheres to relevant environmental laws and regulations in the regions where it operates. Environmental innovation. So, identifying whether the companies invest in research and development of eco-friendly technologies or products. That means innovation and compliances. These are the main important things in the environmental criteria. Because without compliances of environmental law, you cannot operate the business. That means CTE and CTO. And we have already taken class on it. So companies that are mindful of the environmental impact and actively work to minimize their negative effects are more likely to be considered environmentally responsible and attract environmentally conscious investors and stakeholders. Assessing the environmental aspect of ESG is essential in identifying potential risks and opportunities related to environmental sustainability, and it's increasingly become a crucial consideration in investment decisions and corporate practices. Now, how environment sustainability be achieved in a company? So, how environment sustainability can be achieved in a company? So, achieving environmental sustainability in a company requires a comprehensive and holistic approach that involves integrating sustainable practices into various aspects of its operations. Here are some keys steps and strategy that companies can adopt to promote environmental sustainability. So first is that set clear environmental goals. So define measurable and time bound environmental goals that align with broader sustainability objectives. These goals should be specific, achievable, and relevant to the company's industry and impact area. And next is environmental policy and commitment. So develop and communicate a formal environmental policy that outlines the company's commitment to sustainability. This policy should be endorsed and supported by the top management and cascaded throughout the organization. And next is energy efficiency. So implementing energy saving measures such as using energy efficient lighting, appliances and equipments. Okay. So consider investing in renewable energy sources like solar or wind power to reduce reliance on fossil fuels. And next is resource conservation. So implement a strategy to reduce water consumption, minimize waste generation, and encourage recycling and reuse. So consider using sustainable materials and reducing the use of single-use plastics. Next is carbon footprint reduction. So identify and measures the company's greenhouse gas emission and develop strategies to reduce carbon emission. This can include optimizing transportation and logistics, adopting green technologies, and promoting telecommuting when possible. Next is supplier engagement. So work with supplier and partner who also prioritize sustainability, thereby extending the environmental impact beyond the company's direct operations. And next is employee engagement. So foster a culture of sustainability among employees. Encourage eco-conscious practices in the workplace, such as paperless operations, carpooling, and waste reduction initiatives. Now next is environmental compliances. So stay informed about relevant environmental regulations and ensure the companies complies with all applicable laws and standards. Now next is investment in research and innovation. So invest in research and development of sustainable technologies, products, and process. This may lead to more eco-friendly alternatives and solutions. And now is transparency and reporting. Very main criteria. So regularly disclose the company's environmental performance and progress towards sustainability goals to stakeholders. Transparency helps build trust and credibility. Next, LCA, life cycle assessment. So consider the entire life cycle of products and services from raw material extractions to disposal and seek ways to reduce their environmental impact at each stages. And now next is engaging customers. So educate and involve customers in sustainable practices by providing information on eco-friendly product choices, and encouraging responsible consumption. Now next is collaboration and advocacy. So engage with industry associations, NGOs, non-government organizations, and government bodies to collaborate on collective sustainability initiatives and advocate for supportive policies. By integrating these strategies into companies' operations, business model, culture, a company can work towards achieving environmental sustainability, reduce its ecological footprint, and contribute positively to the well-being of the planet and future generations. So this is the environmental aspect in ESG. Okay, so now moving on, social part. Now social. So what is social in ESG? So in the context of environmental, social and governance criteria, social refers to one of the three key factors used to assess a or organizations sustainability and ethical practices. As part of ESG analysis, the social component focuses on how a company interacts with and impacts its various stakeholders, employees, community, and society at large. Okay, that means social component focuses on how a company interacts with and impacts its various stakeholders, employees, community, and society at large. It involves evaluating the company's efforts and performance in areas such as, okay, so first is employee relationship and diversity. So assessing the company's treatment of employees, including fair wages, benefits, and working conditions. It also includes promoting diversity, equity, and inclusion in the workplace. Next is labor practices and human rights. So, evaluating the company's adherence to labor laws, human rights standards, and its efforts to prevent labor abuses and exploitations throughout its supply chain. Health and safety, ensuring that the companies prioritize and the health and safety of its employees and stakeholders, providing a safe working environment and implementing appropriate safety measures. Next is community engagement. So, assessing the company's involvement and positive impact on local communities where it operates. This may include support for community development projects, philanthropy, or volunteering efforts. And next is customer satisfaction and data protection. So, examining how the company treats its customers, protect their data and privacy, and respond to customer concern or complaints. Next is product quality and safety. So, evaluating the company's commitment to providing safe and reliable products or services to customer. Next is supply chain management. So, assessing how the company manages its supply chain to ensure that suppliers also adhere to social and ethical standards. Next is ethics and transparency. So, evaluating the company's commitment to ethical business practices, transparent reporting, and its overall integrity in its dealings with stakeholders. And next is human capital development. So, focusing on the company's effort to develop and enhance the skills and capabilities of its workforce to support long term sustainable growth. And next, social impact and contribution. So, examining the company's effort to contribute positively to society through initiatives like social responsibility programs, charitable donation, or community development projects. So, companies that prioritize and excel in social responsibilities are more likely to attract and retain top talent, build a strong relationship with customers and communities, and foster a positive corporate reputation. The social aspect of ESG analysis helps investors and stakeholders understand the company's commitment to its workforce and society, enabling them to make informed decisions and support business that align with their values and sustainability goals. Okay, so before moving the last part of the topic, I would like to give you one more important news. If anyone wants to know ESG in full depth and rules and regulation incorporated in it, that is issued on 3rd July 2023 by Security Exchange Board of India SEBI. So they can join our paid course on ESG in just 1499. Okay. So Mr. Ashutosh Kumar Srivastava, who is the director of the GCCS, sir will take a live session and explain each and every aspect of ESG in full details. After the completion of course, an e-certificate will be issued to those participants who enrolled in paid course and give a self-assessment test. Details related to paid class are also given in the description box, so go and check out all the details at there. Okay, so now moving on to the last topic. So continuing to the social part of ESG. So how compliance of social can be achieved in ESG? So achieving compliances with social standards and practices involves adopting policies and strategies that prioritize the well-being of employees, stakeholders, and community while adhering to relevant labor laws and human rights principles. Here are some key steps to help companies achieve compliances with social criteria. Okay, so first steps is develop a social policy. So create a formal social policy that outlines the company's commitment to social responsibility and compliance with relevant labor and human rights standards. This policy should be aligned with international norms such as UN Global Compact and other industry specific guidelines. Next is employee relations and labor laws. So ensure compliance with labor laws and regulations in all the regions where the company operates. This includes providing fair wages, appropriate working hours, and safe working conditions for employees. Third is diversity and inclusion. So promote diversity and inclusion in the workplace by establishing equal opportunities for all employees regardless of gender, race, ethnicity, or other characteristics. Encourage a culture that values diversity and fosters a sense of belonging. Next is health and safety. So prioritize the health and safety of employees by implementing robust safety protocols, conducting regular safety training, and providing necessary personal protective equipment, that is PPE. Supply chain management. So extend social compliance to the company's supply chain by vetting suppliers and partners to ensure they adhere to the same social standards and ethical practices. Next is human rights due diligence. So conduct human rights impact assessment to identify and address potential human rights risks in the company's operation and supply chain. Ethics and integrity. So establish a code of ethics and conduct that sets clear guidelines for all employees and stakeholders, emphasizing integrity and ethical behavior in all business dealing. Next is employee engagement. So involve employees in the company's social initiative and decision making process. Encourage feedback and create channels for employee to raise concern without fear of reprisal. Next is monitoring and auditing. So implement regular monitoring and auditing process to assess the company's compliances with social policies and standards. This includes both internal evaluations and third party audits for unbiased assessment. Next is training and awareness. So, providing training programs to employees and management on social compliances, including topics related to human rights, diversity, and inclusions. Raise awareness about the importance of social responsibility within the organizations. Next is transparency and reporting. So communicate the company's efforts and progress on social compliance through regular ESG reporting and other public disclosures. Transparency builds trust and accountability with stakeholders. Next is partnership and collaborations. So collaborate with industry association, NGOs and other stakeholders to share best practices and work collectively towards improving social standards. So by integrating these practices that we have discussed on the above into the company's culture, policies and operations, business can achieve social compliance and demonstrate their commitment to promoting the well-being of their employees and communities. Social compliance not only ensures ethical practices but also contributes to the company's reputations, employee satisfaction, and long-term sustainable growth. Now, this is the last part of the ESG, that is governance. So, what is governance in ESG? In the context of environmental, social, and governance criteria, governance refers to one of the three key factors used to assess a company's or organization's sustainability and ethical practices. The governance components of ESG focuses on evaluating how a company is governed and how it ensures accountability, transparency, and ethical decision making in its operations. It involves assessing the company's efforts and performance in such areas such as corporate governance structure. So examining the company's organizational structure, including the roles and responsibilities of the board of directors, management, and other stakeholders. Good corporate governance typically involves a clear separation of powers. Board compositions and independence. So, evaluating the diversity and independence of the board of directors. A diverse and independent board is more likely to make objective decisions and represent the interest of various stakeholders. Next is executive compensation. So, assessing the company's approach to executive compensation to ensure it's fair, reasonable, and aligned with the long term sustainable performance rather than short term gains. Shareholder rights. So, analyzing the company's practices regarding shareholder rights, including voting rights, proxies access, and other mechanisms that allow shareholders to have a say in corporate decision. Next is ethics and anti-corruption. So evaluating the company's commitment to ethical business practices and its efforts to prevent corruption, bribery, and other unethical behaviors. Next is risk management. So assessing the company's approach to identifying, managing, and disclosing risk that could impact its performance and reputation. Effective risk management strategies are essential for sustainable operations. Next is transparency and reporting. So, reviewing the company's disclosure practices to ensure it provides timely and accurate information to stakeholders, including financial and non-financial information relevant to ESG factors. Next is regulatory compliances. So ensuring that the companies complies with all applicable laws and regulations. Such regulations as well as industry standards and codes of conduct. Stakeholders engagement. So examining how the company engages with and considers the interest of various stakeholders, including shareholders, employees, customers, suppliers, and the communities in which it operates. Next is corporate social responsibility CSR initiatives. We will create a separate video on CSR because this is the very important topic and it is very vast topic. That's why we will create a separate video on CSR and upload on our YouTube channel within a few days. So corporate social responsibility initiatives. So assessing the company's commitment to social and environmental responsibility beyond legal requirements, including its involvement in philanthropy and community development projects. Okay, so if you guys have not subscribed our channel yet, so please just do subscribe our channel, because in few days we will upload many videos related to environment and corporate sectors. Okay, so please just subscribe our channel and share this video as much as you can. Next is a strong governance practices are crucial for building trust among investors, stakeholders, and customers. Okay, means strong governance practices are crucial for building trust among investors and stakeholders and customers. They provide a framework for responsible decision making, long-term value creation, and risk mitigations. A company that prioritizes governance principles is more likely to attract sustainable investments, maintain a positive corporate and reputations, and foster a culture of accountability and transparency throughout the organizations. Okay, so how good governance can be achieved in ESG? So achieving good governance, within the context of environmental, social, and governance involves implementing robust practices and structures that promote accountability, transparency, and ethical decision making. Here are key steps to help companies achieve good governance in ESG. So, establish clear governance policies. So, develop comprehensive governance policies that outline the company's commitment to ethical practices, accountability, and transparency. These policies should be aligned with the recognized governance frameworks and standards. Board compositions and independence. So, ensure the board of directors is diverse, independent, and possess a broad range of skills and expertise relevant to the company's operations. Independent directors bring objectivity and can provide checks and balances. Board structure and committees. So establish appropriate board committees such as audit, compensation, and nominating committees to oversee a specific governance area. These committees enhance oversight, promote specialized expertise, and ensure effective governance practices. Next is executive compensation. So, implement executive compensations plans that align with long term sustainable performance and shareholders' interest. Use metrics beyond financial performance, such as ESG goals, to incentivize responsible behavior and sustainable practices. Risk management and internal control. So, establish robust risk management process and internal control mechanism to identify, assess, and mitigate risk across the organizations. Regularly review and update risk management strategies to address emerging risk and changing business environment. Next is ethics and code of conduct. So develop a comprehensive code of conduct that sets clear ethical standards for employees and management. Ensure that employees are educated about the code of conduct and provide avenues for reporting unethical behavior anonymously. Next is stakeholder engagement. So foster open and transparent communication with stakeholders, including shareholders, employees, customers, suppliers, and wider community. Seek feedback, address concern, and consider stakeholder interest in decision making process. Transparency and reporting. So, implementing a robust reporting framework that includes the disclosure of both financial and non financial information relevant to ESG factors. Adopt recognized reporting standards such as Global Reporting Initiative GRI or Sustainability Accounting Standards Board SASB to enhance comparability and transparency. Compliance and regulatory adherence. So, ensure compliance with all applicable laws, regulation, and industry standards. Establish internal controls and monitoring mechanism to identify and rectify any potential compliance gaps. Next, board evaluation and continuous improvement. So conduct regular evaluation of the board's performance, including individuals directors, to identify areas for improvement. Encourage ongoing education and professional developments for board members to stay abreast of emerging governance practices and trends. External verification and audits. So consider engaging external auditors or independent third party assessment to verify the company's adherence to governance practices and ESG commitments. External verification enhances credibility and demonstrates a commitment to transparency. Board oversight of ESG. So ensure that the board of directors is actively involved in overseeing the company's ESG initiatives, including regular updates, setting goals, and monitoring progress. Embed ESG consideration into board discussions and decision making process. Okay. So by implementing these steps, companies can strengthen their governance practices and demonstrate a commitment to responsible and sustainable operations. Good governance within the ESG framework is not only a regulatory requirement but also a key driver of long-term value creation, risk mitigations, and stakeholder trust. Okay. So here we are going to conclude this video on ESG. So please just do subscribe our channel and share this video as much as you can. Thank you.